All right, breaking news coming in on the Congress party, and former Union Minister and senior leader of the Congress, Anand Sharma, has resigned as the chairman of the Himachal Pradesh Congress Steering Committee, and this comes just ahead of the Himachal elections. So Anand Sharma, they're quitting from that steering committee in Himachal, and it also comes just days after another senior leader, Ghulam Nabi Azad, quit from the crucial Jammu and Kashmir Congress committee. Remember, Anand Sharma as well as Azad were both members of the G23, the group of dissenters within the Congress who were very critical of the Gandhis. Well, let's go across to Sunil Prabhu now for more. And Sunil, what do we make of this Anand Sharma now quitting from his post as chairman of the steering committee of Himachal Assembly polls?
Yeah, so I spoke to key, interlocutors who are dealing with this entire matter, including Mr. Anand Sharma, and this is clearly something that has humiliated him, Mr. Anand Sharma in particular, where he has been named as the chairman of the the screening committee, and yet not been called for functions. And there are 2 programs released, and he's not been invited and being left out. And it's in this context, when he was not informed for these meetings, that he felt humiliated, as I said, and upset, and that's the reason why he has resigned. And of course, assured the Congress president that he will campaign for the Congress party. But nevertheless, we'll have to wait and see what the Congress president decides. He has been unwell, and it's in this context we'll have to wait and watch and see what she does to placate Mr. Anand Sharma. But definitely at this present juncture, the manner in which he has been treated by Mr. Rajiv Shukla and others has clearly upset him.
Right. So, Sunil, this is yet another case of, some kind of infighting within the Congress in Himachal. As you said, he felt slighted. In his letter, he's apparently written that he will not compromise on his self-respect. So, it's a case of infighting in the Congress, leading Anand Sharma to step down from a post he'd been, since April, he's been in that post.
That's right. It's in that context that him being left out has created this entire controversy. He's, after all, a Congress working member. He's a senior leader. And Mr. Anand Sharma, for those who know, is a stickler to certain protocols. And it's in this context that he, being left out, he has decided to quit the chairman of the steering committee.
Right, and Sunil, we're also, as we mentioned, this comes just after Ghulam Nabi Azad also quit from a key position of the Congress in Jammu and Kashmir. So now, as both of them were, members of the G23, so we're seeing some sort of a pattern here. Are we reading too much into it?
Well, in there's definitely a pattern. There's no doubt about it. In Mr. Ghulam Nabi Azad's case, the reason for why he had quit is that he felt he was too big for the position. The fact that he's served, so many prime ministers, so many presidents, is a working committee. He felt it didn't fit for him to be, the chairman of the committee campaign committee in Jammu and Kashmir. That, of course, in this case here, Mr. Anand Sharma has been there, but he felt slighted and humiliated at the fact that he's been left out from key meetings that have been taking place in Himachal that were going on. So there has been a lot of backdrop to this entire matter, and it's in this context that this decision comes of him deciding to quit. We'll have to wait for the Congress party and the Congress president to take a decision, because they know that if they have to be in the reckoning, everybody needs to fight together. Mr. Anand Sharma believes that he is the senior most leader after Veerbhadra Singh in the Congress party in Himachal.
And Sunil, last question, it's again what we saw somewhat in Punjab, where everybody, 1 year down the line had earlier thought Congress was in a very key position to perhaps win and, do well in elections, however, infighting, etc. And now it seems the Congress in Himachal is in quite a mess.
Absolutely. If there is a state where the Congress has to really do well and to be seen as a, a possible alternative it is in Himachal, because we have seen a trend every 5 years of ensuring that the same party does not get replaced, so we see the BJP fighting a strong anti-incumbency, but it's in this backdrop with the infighting that is taking place, and that's been the biggest problem, Gargi, for the Congress party across every state. Factions and infighting have been the reason for why the Congress hasn't been able to perform well. And unless they are able to stem this entire issue at this particular juncture, it will definitely have its repercussions in the assembly elections.